At the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to Reed Richards, a kid growing up in New York City who isn't dreaming about being an astronaut or a firefighter like everyone else in his class. When his teacher goes around the room, asking what each student wants to be when they grow up, Reed calmly announces that he's building a machine capable of sending an object anywhere on the planet in seconds. The room doesn't just laugh, it erupts. Even his teacher assumes the kid is making it all up and brushes him off, moving straight on to the next student. Nobody in that classroom thinks a boy his age could actually pull this off. Nobody, except one kid in the back row, Ben Grimm. Something about the certainty in Reed's voice convinces Ben he isn't lying, and that one decision to believe him is about to reshape both of their futures. That same night, Reed sneaks into a junkyard hunting for spare parts, with no idea the place belongs to Ben's family. When Ben finds him, he doesn't chase him off, he listens. Once Reed lays out exactly what his invention could do for the world, Ben doesn't need convincing twice. It's the start of a partnership that carries the two of them through years of tinkering in garages and basements, piece by piece turning an idea nobody believed in into something real. We eventually catch up with Reed and Ben on the stage of a science fair, hoping this is finally the moment a real scientist takes them seriously. In front of a packed room, they fire up their invention and send a toy helicopter disappearing into another dimension entirely. For one electric second, it looks like they've actually done it. Then the laughter returns. The crowd writes it off as a cheap magic trick, and both boys get physically removed from the building. Years of work, dismissed in under a minute. It's enough to make anyone question whether the world will ever catch up to them. This is where the movie delivers its first real turning point. Not everyone in that crowd is laughing. A scientist named Dr. Franklin steps forward, visibly shaken by what he just watched. He admits he spent years chasing this exact breakthrough, with a fully staffed lab and a massive budget behind him, and two teenagers just beat him to it. There's only one piece missing. The machine can send objects away, but it has no way of bringing them back. Franklin doesn't waste time. He offers Reed and Ben scholarships to his research institute, along with every tool and resource they could possibly need to finish the job properly. From here, the story moves into its next chapter at the institute. Reed throws himself into the work, and it isn't long before he grows close to Franklin's daughter Susan, a scientist every bit as sharp as he is. Behind the scenes, though, the institute's leadership realizes the team is still missing someone crucial, a former researcher named Victor, brilliant but famously difficult, who walked away from the project years earlier after clashing hard with Franklin. Reluctantly, the board brings him back anyway. With Victor, Susan's younger brother Johnny, Reed, and Ben all working under one roof now, the final stretch of the project kicks off, and for the first time, it actually feels finishable. After weeks of round-the-clock work, the team pulls off something extraordinary, a fully operational portal that can send something across dimensions and pull it back in one piece. To prove it works both ways, they send a chimpanzee through, and when it climbs back out completely unharmed, the whole lab loses it. They've just accomplished something Franklin's institute couldn't manage in years on its own. But the celebration is short-lived. Word comes down from above that guts the entire team. The first human trip through the portal won't belong to them. NASA is taking over, and only trained astronauts will be cleared to go. After everything they've sacrificed, Reed, Ben, Johnny, and Victor are being told to step back and hand their life's work to somebody else. Furious, the four of them make a decision that will change absolutely everything. They'll take the trip themselves, that very same night, without asking permission from anyone. Susan stays behind to run the controls, while Reed, Ben, Johnny, and Victor step into the portal. And seconds later, they're standing on a world nobody on Earth has ever laid eyes on. They call it Planet Zero, and it's stranger than anything they could have pictured. Glowing skies, alien terrain, a planet that almost seems alive. While the others take it all in, Victor drifts toward a pool of glowing green liquid nearby. Curious, he reaches down to touch it, and the instant his fingers make contact, the ground itself seems to detonate, hurling him straight into it. Certain their friend is dead, Reed, Ben, and Johnny sprint back toward the portal, desperate to get home. But on Earth, Susan is already fighting a losing battle. The blast on Planet Zero has destabilized the connection between the two worlds, and something far more dangerous than an explosion is riding the portal home with them. Within seconds, a violent surge of energy rips through the lab, and the building starts caving in around everyone inside. Somehow, in the middle of the chaos, Susan manages to pull Reed, Ben, and Johnny back through alive. But whatever followed them home is about to rewrite the rest of their lives. In the days after, all three of them start noticing changes they can't explain. Whatever came through that portal with them has rewritten something deep in their biology. Reed is the one who notices it first. His limbs have gone rubbery, bending and stretching in ways a human body simply shouldn't. Susan, despite never setting foot on Planet Zero, finds she can slip out of sight entirely, vanishing on command as if she was never there. Johnny discovers he can summon and control fire itself, his own body somehow immune to flames hot enough to melt steel. And then there's Ben, who draws the cruelest card of all. His skin hardens into solid stone, and his whole frame balloons into something closer to a walking boulder than a man. Terrified of what's just happened, the government moves fast, locking all four of them away inside a hidden compound where scientists can study them around the clock. When Reed wakes up behind reinforced walls, his new elastic body hands him one advantage no cell was built to contain. He squeezes through a ventilation shaft and vanishes into the night. But before he's gone for good, he catches one last glimpse of Ben, sealed behind thick glass, transformed into something he barely recognizes anymore. The guilt hits instantly. Reed blames himself completely for what's happened to his best friend, and before disappearing, he makes himself one silent promise. Someday, he'll come back and undo this. Years go by, and no matter how hard the government searches, nobody can track Reed down. Desperate, the man overseeing the whole operation, Dr. Allen, makes Ben an offer that's impossible to refuse. Help hunt Reed down, and the scientists will do everything in their power to turn him human again. Ben agrees, though it clearly costs him something to say yes. Meanwhile, Susan, Johnny, and Ben get put to work running missions no ordinary soldier could survive. And from the outside, it looks like everybody's finally winning. What none of them realize is that Allen has a much bigger agenda. He isn't chasing Reed just to bring him home. He needs Reed's mind to rebuild the machine, so the team can return to Planet Zero and extract whatever mysterious energy is waiting there. If it works, that energy could fuel an entire army of superpowered soldiers. Eventually, it's Susan who tracks Reed down, and a team gets sent to bring him in, Ben right at the front of it. Reed puts up a fight, but he's outnumbered, and he's dragged straight back to the same facility he escaped years earlier. This time, there's no room for argument. He's ordered to rebuild the machine from the ground up. At first, he refuses outright, still haunted by everything the project has already cost the people he loves. But Allen knows exactly which nerve to press. He promises that if this mission succeeds, the energy they bring home could finally reverse whatever happened to Ben. For his best friend, Reed agrees to finish what he started years ago, fully aware of how badly this could go. This is where the movie takes its darkest turn yet. With the portal running again, a team is sent straight back to Planet Zero, and what greets them there stops everyone cold. A scarred, battered figure is walking slowly out of the darkness. It's Victor. Somehow, the man everyone assumed died on that planet years ago has been surviving out there completely alone this entire time. When the team hauls him back through the portal, nobody can explain how he's even still breathing. His body is covered in burns and scarring that should have killed him a dozen times over, and yet his abilities now dwarf anything the rest of the team can do. But something else has changed too. Something nobody accounts for. Total isolation on a hostile alien world for years has done more than reshape Victor's body. Victor no longer thinks of himself as human at all. Convinced that everyone he once knew simply left him there to die, he spent years feeding a single obsession: revenge. He isn't interested in saving Earth anymore. He wants to erase it and build something new in its place. Without any warning, he unleashes his full power inside the lab, killing Allen and several other scientists within seconds. When Dr. Franklin tries to talk him down, warning him exactly where this path leads, Victor kills him too, then calmly steps back through the portal to Planet Zero. Only this time, he isn't using the machine to travel, he's using it to destroy. The portal spirals completely out of control, twisting into a massive black hole that starts tearing pieces of the Earth apart. Before anyone can stop it, Reed, Susan, Ben, and Johnny get pulled through the collapsing portal and land right back on Planet Zero, finally understanding the full scope of what Victor's planning, wiping out the entire planet and building his own world from what's left behind. One by one, they try fighting him, and one by one, they get overwhelmed. Years of solitude have made Victor far more dangerous than any of them expected. It isn't until Reed realizes something crucial, that these powers were never designed to be used alone, that things finally start to turn. For the first time, the four of them stop fighting as individuals and start fighting as one unit. With an actual plan in place, Susan uses her invisibility to open gaps Victor never sees coming, while Johnny hits him with everything his flames can deliver. Reed keeps him off balance with his stretching body, buying Ben the exact window he needs. Then, putting everything he has behind it, Ben lands one final hit that sends Victor rocketing straight into the unstable portal. Trapped inside, Victor loses his grip on his own powers completely, and moments later, an explosion wipes him out for good. But the danger isn't finished. The portal itself won't close, and Earth is still being torn apart piece by piece. With almost no time left on the clock, Johnny unloads every last bit of fire he has, directly into the machine, destroying it completely. And the moment it goes, the portal finally collapses too, saving Earth with seconds to spare. As the movie draws to its close, Reed, Susan, Ben, and Johnny make it back home, as completely different people, and not just because of what they can now do. They're not lab experiments or government weapons anymore. They're a family, forged by everything they went through together. Handed a real headquarters, and the freedom to shape their own future, the four of them make one quiet promise before it's all over. Nobody will ever turn them into test subjects again. Whatever these powers are, from here on out, they belong only to the people this team chooses to protect. And that's the full story. Now, I'm contractually obligated by internet law to guilt trip you into engaging, so let's get it over with. I spent way too many hours piecing this recap together for you to scroll away without saying a word. If any part of this hit you, Ben's transformation, Victor's betrayal, that gut punch ending, tell me in the comments. And if you still haven't subscribed after all that, come on, you made it this far. Might as well make it official. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.